calculator section. And last time we finished question 21, so we're going to go to 22. 22 says, which of the following is closest to the percent increase in the billions of pounds of plastic produced in the U.S. from 2000 to 2003? So we got to go back and look at the graph. And it says number of years since 85. So from 85 to 2000 is 15 years. So we're looking at here. And we're going to here. So they want to know from here to here. And it looks like it went from 100 to roughly 110. All right, let's go back to the question. And they wanted to know which is closest to the percent increase. From 100 to 110, 10% of 100 is 10. So I'd say it's about a 10% increase. All right, for 23, they give us an equation. M equals 1800 times 1.02 raised to the t. The equation above models the number of members M of a gym T years after the gym opens. Of the following, which equation models the number of members of the gym Q quarter years after the gym opens? All right, so T is years. And they want to know about quarter years. There are 4 quarters in 1 year. Each quarter is 3 months. Not really useful for this, but matters a lot in Wall Street. So 4Q is going to be equal to T. So this is going to be our answer. This one has 4Q, but they changed the growth rate here. You would need to do that if you were doing quarterly, but this is 4Q, so that's not going to. For the finale of a TV show, viewers could use either social media or a text message to vote for their favorite 2 contestants. The contestant receiving more than 50% of the vote won. An estimated 10% of the viewers voted, and 30% of the votes were cast on social media. Contestant 2 earned 70% of the votes cast on social media, and 40% of the votes cast using a text message. Based on this information, which of the following is an accurate conclusion? Alright, so this, not useful yet. Alright, 10% voted, 30% of the votes were on social media. So out of social media, 70% went to contestant 2, which means the other 30% went to contestant 1. And contestant 2 got 40% of the votes using a text message. Which means contestant 1 got 60% of those. Alright, if all viewers had voted, well, we don't know anything about what the other people who didn't vote would have voted. So this has nothing to do with anything. We don't know what they would have done. Viewers voting by social media were likely to be younger. You know, nothing up here says anything about age, so we have no reason to believe that either. If all viewers who voted had voted by social media instead of by text, contestant 2 would have won. social media. Do you really think someone's going to change their opinion based on whether they're using text or social media? Or do you think they had an opinion separate from that? Probably have one separate from that. Viewers voting by social media were more likely to prefer contestant 2. Yes, this totally sounds reasonable. Social media seemed to prefer contestant 2. Text didn't. We're not really making any broad assumptions about people based on stuff, so this one's going to be D, just because it just summarizes what this says. Everything else is assuming something else. Alright, for 25. Population in Greenleaf, Idaho. The table above shows the population of Greenleaf, Idaho for the years 2000 and 2010. If the relationship between population and year is linear, which of the following models the population of Greenleaf T years after 2000? Alright, so T is slope. They said it's linear. So we need a linear equation. We're going to need to figure out slope, so what I'm going to do is subtract my x's, subtract my y's. So I've got 862 minus 846, 2000 minus 2010. Calculator section, so we might as well use it. It helps if they have a battery.
I thought you said we always use the calculator section when doing it, bro.
Yeah, I know, I did say that at the beginning. But there's
Use
exceptions.
that calculator.
No, we can leave it in. Y'all can even leave in the part where you're making fun of me for using a calculator after I said you're getting it wrong if you use a calculator.
I mean, it's all in the timer still on.
Alright, so with this we get -8/5. And they said after 2000. Our intercepts look the same on this. This is negative, so I need a negative. So it's not going to be that one. Personally, I don't like it, but this is usually the way the tests are built. This minus 2000 well, they said T years after 2000. I don't know. Some tests want this. So, like the STAR test for the state of Texas, the answer is usually something like this, where they're subtracting out the starting point, which technically, it's not really right. So Texas, when they build tests, they usually do this. This is cleaner, and they said T years after 2000. So that means that T isn't years, it's years after 2000. So instead of it being 2011, where you have to subtract out the 2000, it'd just be 11, because it's after that. So I think A is correct on this, but some state tests would actually want D instead. So this one has the right slope. And it doesn't have that because it says T years after. So T is already just years and not the year.
I'm just gonna be confusing.
Well, it is confusing. So
what's the actual answer that you're saying?
this is right, but if you were taking the STAR test, most of the time this is the one they want. But they say T years after 2000. Now, if it was year 2008, you subtract out the 2000, because 8 years went by, right? But T is already years after 2000, so T should just look like 8 instead of looking like 2008. So A is the right one. All right, we'll pick it up next time on the next video.